I was married to a white German.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
I suffer domestic violence from them because they were rich and famous people. So they threw me out of the house at that time and wanted to take my children away from me. So the family become more controlling, become involving more on our relationship, and don't allow me to make decisions for my children, and wanted to be taking them anywhere they want to take them to. I shouldn't say anything about that. So I wasn't that happy as people seem to see me from the outside. Because one thing that was not even making me too happy, the fact that I cannot able to go to work. That each time I want to go to work, they will find an excuse for me not to work.
Hello, guys. I welcome you live on SBTV International. My name is DJ Nyame. I welcome you live on board. This is the voice of the world. Wherever you are, you can come on the show if you want to. My numbers are on the screen, so you can just WhatsApp me or send me a voice note. If you are in Africa, you are in the diaspora. This channel is for Africans. Wherever you are, just come on the show. Whatever you've been through, your culture, your lifestyle, experience in life, what you've learned, what you've passed through, and all that. It's a platform to share your story. So just link up, make sure you share our channel to your friends to invite them to come and join us. My name is DJ Nyame once again, and today I have a special guest on my show. I'm going to the UK to have a chat with one beautiful lady, Alice.
Yes.
Alice, I welcome you on board. I welcome you live on SBTV International. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm okay. I'm trying to do well now. It has not been easy, but I'm fine. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So your name is Alice what?
My name is Alice Vandi. I was born with Vandi, but my husband is Babatunde. Alice Vandi Babatunde.
Oh, okay. Alice, which part of the UK are you?
I'm in Kent. I'm living in Kent, Chatham.
Oh, okay, Kent.
Yeah, it's not too far from London, like 30 or 40 minutes to London.
Oh, okay, I see. So, Alice, which part of Africa are you from?
I'm coming from Sierra Leone. I was born in Freetown.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
That's my sister there from another mother.
Yes, definitely. A lot of Ghanaians are there that have been there for decades, or even centuries. They're the fishermen. They're doing fishing there. So everybody just blend together.
Oh, okay. So today you are repping Sierra Leone.
Yes.
You are repping on my show today.
Yeah. Thank you for having this. One my Ghanaian sister that introduced me to the show. One my Ghanaian sister.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Nice. Thanks for being part of the show.
Okay.
This is our new channel, SVTV International. We have SVTV Africa and we have SVTV International. So the international is our English channel. Our English channel is SVTV International. That's our English channel. And then SVTV Africa is mixed with our local languages and all that. So that's why we created this new channel. So welcome on board. You tell all your people back home and those in abroad to come and join us and also share their stories and their experience. So how long have you been in the UK?
I've been in UK now since 2019, beginning of 2019. I used to live in Germany.
Germany.
Yes.
Oh, okay. How long have you been in Germany?
I live in Germany over a decade.
Wow.
Yes, over a decade. I was married to a white German.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
I suffer domestic violence from them because they were rich and famous people. So they threw me out of the house at that time and wanted to take my children away from me.
Oh, okay. I'll come to that.
All right.
But let's come back to Africa and see growing up in Africa, life there. What were you doing before you travel? Was it schooling, working, siblings? Let's talk about your family a bit. And let's get to know you. I mean, before traveling.
Okay, then. I was born and raised in Freetown. And I have two sisters and my mother and my father. I went to school and went to college and graduated in college. and I work for a company, a mobile company, which nowadays in Africa the company names are changing. When they buy them, they change. I was working for, when I was in college, I was working for one mobile company to make ends meet as a student in Africa. And I went for working experience to one of the one of the capitals of Freetown, and it was very successful. So it was during that time I get to know a man from Germany, and then I traveled to Germany. Life was okay for me. I had friends, I had families, everything was fine before I traveled.
Wow. Tell us more about your place. I mean, when people are watching us today, they want to visit your country, they want to come to Africa, they want to visit your country. Some of the things that we need to know, a lifestyle there, maybe tourist attraction places, I mean, the food, I mean, your culture, your tribe, and then tell us more about your place.
Okay. Sierra Leone is actually a very beautiful country. It used to be, we have the famous university, which is Foabe College, which is one of the first university in West Africa, which is over hundreds of years old, which most of the politicians and the great people in West Africa used to come to Foabe College to study. The Ghanaians, the Nigerians, they used to study at that university and graduated back in the days. It is located in a mountain top, a very nice location. When you're up there, you can see the valleys, the sea downward when you look. We have nice beaches, and one of the famous one is number 2. The people are very nice and friendly, and Sierra Leoneans are even more nice and friendlier to foreigners than themselves. And it's more of coastal. Sierra Leone is located at the coastal part. Freetown is located at the coastal part, and there are really nice places, nice beaches like Bure Beach, number 2, Toke, Laka, Johnny Obey, you name them. It's a place that you can really, any African can really feel at home. It's a very beautiful place. And I'm coming from the tribe, because we have, Sierra Leone have like 15 tribes. And Mende is one of the second or third largest tribe in Sierra Leone, because we have Timini and we have the Mende, and then we have the Limba, and then we have all the other African tribes as well. But all of them coexist together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I see. What about your food?
Our food, we have potato leaves, which is very, very delicious and nice. We have cassava leaf. We have cassava leaf. We have potato leaf. We have what they call pemaun. Pemaun is like potato leaf and palm oil. We have lafidi, which is common for my tribe, which is like okra and garden eggs mixed together, and pepper, which is also very nice and delicious.
Wow.
And yeah.
I see. So, I mean, aside that, you went to school, you started working, and then continuing from there, you were saying through the work you met
somebody, yes, through during that time that I was working, I met somebody, as a student back in the days. So I met a guy also from Germany at that time, a white German.
You met him in Sierra Leone?
Yeah, I met him in Sierra Leone. So we become friends, just like ordinary friend, and we communicated when he even fly back, because he was also in university also at that time.
Okay.
Yes, I was still young, in my early 20s, and he was also in his mid 20s. After that, and he proposed for me to visit Germany. He said he would like for me to see where he's coming from, because at that time, Sierra Leoneans back in the days don't like to travel. It's only after the war. I don't know if you're aware of the massive bloody civil war, the Blood Diamond. Have you watched the movie?
Yeah, I've watched the movie.
In Blood Diamond,
Black Diamond.
Yeah, Blood Diamond, yeah, which was a very, very very, very devastating for Sierra Leoneans. But I was there from the beginning till the end. So Sierra Leoneans didn't go abroad that much during that when the country everything was okay. But after the war, people become anxious and want to see more outside of where they are. So yeah, so I met this German man, and in the beginning, initially, he did his internship also in Sierra Leone at that time. He spent like 6 months in Sierra Leone, and we get to know each other better. And Africans, we treat strangers very well, so then I decided to visit him in Germany at that time. So I visited him, and his parents were, I didn't know initially that his parents were even doctors. Both of them are doctors. One of the mother is an anesthetician, and the father is a surgeon at that time. So when I came, I was living in a village. I grew up in Freetown, but city is a city and village is a village. It doesn't matter how developed or if that country is developed or not. There is always a difference between a city and a village. So I went to live in a remote German village, and it was an adventure for me, and was very challenging and new. But when you are young, you want to explore the world, and sometimes you think you are unbeatable. So at that time, I wanted to explore and get to know the world better around me. So I lived in the village. It was not easy because at that time I cannot speak German. So it was difficult for me to interact with the people. So with time, I went to German school. Initially, I didn't go to stay. I went to visit. So he decided that he would like me to stay. He wants to marry me. So we went to Denmark at that time because he said, as an African, for me to marry to him in Germany, it would be difficult. So we will prefer for us to go to Denmark and married. So we went to Denmark and married, and we come back home. So my visiting visa now changed. So I stayed in Germany. And I started going to German school. I attended the school, and I live in the village. I only deal with Germans. I think I was one of the only Black Africans in that particular surrounding. So I was there. I went to German school and finished. And I asked him that I would like to work. I said, because even when I was in Africa, I used to work and earn my own money. So he said, I don't need to work. As long as I'm not suffering, I have where to sleep and what to eat. I said, no, but I need to earn my own money for myself. That's what I've been doing before traveling to Europe. So he refused. Each time I said I want to work, he will find excuses that I don't know the language. I say, but even if I don't know the language, there are some things I can do without that. I don't require German language. So I become pregnant with my firstborn, who is now 15 years old. So I become pregnant, and as a young mother, and I don't know my way too much, because it was a completely total strange environment for me. And the family, we were living at the grandmother's house at that time. So I find out that living at the grandmother place, I don't have a privacy, and everybody will just be coming in and go out. So I found out that when I had my child at that time, my firstborn, things begin to change, because his parents, which are doctors, wanted to take control, to be telling me what to do, what not to do, how to raise my child, what language I'm speaking with him. So it was a bit challenging as well for me to cope with that type of atmosphere. So I had the first child, and the grandparents want the child to be going to them almost every weekend. So the German man gets a job to go to Africa. He finishes university, and then we moved to Africa back. He went to Sierra Leone for this job. So we stayed in Sierra Leone. That is where my firstborn starts working, who is 15 now. Started working in Sierra Leone. So after living in Sierra Leone, I was very reluctant to come back in Germany because the atmosphere was really getting tense. I find out that I was like losing my autonomy to decide. My self-determination is being attacked, and that was very, very important for me, for my existence as a human being. Your self-determination is very, very important. So we stayed there for some time, and he said he want to come back to Germany, but I was very reluctant. So later on, he was able to convince me to come back, that things will be different if I come back to Germany. So we fly to Germany. It was an holiday. Then I got pregnant with my second son, who is 13 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah. And with the hope that maybe things will change and get better. So the family become more controlling, become involving more on our relationship, and don't allow me to make decisions for my children, and wanted to be taking them anywhere they want to take them to. I shouldn't say anything about that. So I told them that we cannot continue like this, because as the mother, I also have to exercise my motherly role. So we moved from the environment where his parents were living. We moved to a different location, a house, because at that time I don't even have a bank account. I don't have a bank account. I don't have access to money. It's only when we are going to the supermarket, he's the one having the money purse. He's the one that we buy what to choose what to buy and what not to buy. It was very, very difficult for me, because I find out that as a financial abuse, because when I was in Africa, I used to control my own money. So I was thinking that why, when I'm in Europe, don't have access to money on my own. But so the mother will take me, sometimes we bring old clothes for me that are not even my size, like I was expecting much from them anyway. Not because of really they are doctors, but even Africa, people that are not even doctors, they really live good life. So how much more for a family like that, expecting me to be using used clothes that are not even sometimes my size? So I told him, I said, didn't you tell your mother about me, where I'm coming from, and what did they really think about me? But because of Africans, we have respect for elders. So I tend not to take it that serious and have that respect and see them as my own parent. So we moved from that environment. We moved to a different place where I think that maybe we can have more privacy as a family. So we moved to a big house again. It was also that was around back then, like 2011, 2012. So we moved to a new environment, big house, car. But sometimes money is not everything. You live in a good environment, but you don't have peace of mind. You find that you cannot make decision on your own. You can't be in control of your life. So I wasn't that happy as people seem to see me from the outside. Because one thing that was not even making me too happy, the fact that I cannot able to go to work. That each time I want to go to work, they will find an excuse for me not to work. So they said, oh yeah, the children are still young. They are going to, so I find a nursery for them, both of them. And they started going to nursery. I said, but now I want to work. And he said, no, I cannot work at the moment. And so his attitude started changing towards me. So the parents offer to take my son at that time. I think he was 3 years old. They offer to take him for like a 3 weeks or 4 weeks holiday. So I told the parents, I said, this is a baby. You've taken him once when he was like 2. He was still having pampers. So this time around, I wouldn't be happy for you to take him to holiday without me, their mother, or without their father. So he said, no, they have to go. These are my parents. What they say, I have to listen to them. I said, no, they are not going. And he said, if I did not allow them to go, I'm going to face in the consequence. But I didn't know what all was the consequence is going to be about, because I was also getting really sick and tired of all this type of toxic relationship and environment around me. So I said, no, I said, this time they're not going anywhere. I said, I'm the mother, and I also have a saying towards my children. So one evening, the father came to our house, and started discussing about the holiday plan to my 15 years old. We discussed the holiday, and I said my son is not going anywhere. The father was aggressive. The father that is a doctor, he was aggressive and started shouting, "You have to be listening to your husband, what he said." And I said, no, I say I will listen to him if it's something that is healthy and good for the family. I said, but if this is going against our wishes and feeling, then I don't think I should listen. So after that incident, now it changed drastically, because I refused the parents of taking our younger son, which is 3 years old. And this time around, they even want to take both of them, the 3 years old and the 1.5 years old. So I was really worried. I said, how can they take my 2 years, 3 years and 2 years without me? So I was worried what was really going on. So one day, one of his friends visited us at home, and then the friend was saying, oh, he called the name of my ex-husband and said, oh, I heard that your mother is going to leave her job to take care of the children. So I was shocked. I said, oh, really? The mother is leaving? He said, so I was wondering what they are going to do with Alice if the mother is going to leave her job. So, and he was like not expecting that type of conversation. So when the friend left, I said, what is going on? I said, why did your mother want to leave her job? So after that incident, when I refused the children for going for holiday, so he said one day we went to the church, because I was attending a German church, which I was also the only African in the church. And so on the way coming back home, he said, you know what I'm going to do with you? I'm going to send you out of this house if you are not listening to my parents. And then we are going to take a lawyer for you and take your children away from me. I said, no, it's not possible. I said, you can't just take my children away. I said, if I'm going out of this house, I have to take my children along. So he said, no, you are not going with these children. He said, we'll take a good lawyer for you. And then we are going to say you're a bad mother, and then your children are gone. So I didn't take it really serious, because I was like, why is all this all of a sudden? I thought this is a very nice family, because they say they're a Christian family. They used to pray when they are eating, but their attitude and their behavior doesn't match what really they are trying to put out there. So the day the parents went for the holiday alone, so he just wake up one morning and was aggressive towards me. And he said, do you know what? Very soon you are going to leave this house. I said, why am I leaving the house? What did I do wrong? So he went to the office, because in the house there is like an office where all our computers are. And I went there, and then he pushed me outside, and pushed me outside. I said, I've warned you, and hold me on my clothes and pull my hair. So I was seeing him. He was looking really very scary, and he really makes me scared. So he pushed me outside of the house, and he closed the door, and my children were there. Luckily, I was having my bag. And my phone was in my pocket. At that time, I was just coming from an operation, because I break my ankle from the family. We went for a snow ride on top of a hill, and my foot gets stuck. So and I was having like 7 screw on my ankle, and the screw was just removed at that time, and I was not too stable on one of my legs. So immediately pushed me, I fall down, and I managed to drag myself. I managed to get up, and it was even raining, because of it's a white, predominantly German environment, and I was like the only African. So I shouted for help outside under the cold weather, and I was just having like a cardigan on and my house shoes with my bag, and my phone was in my pocket. So I go to the neighbors and shouted. Nobody came out to help me. So I had no option. Then I called the police. So when I called the police came, and they do intermediary. And that is the time immediately the police came. That's the time I know that people were in the house. Initially, I thought that nobody was there, and all of a sudden the police came, and then they started coming out to talk. So the police was talking to him and talking to me. So he called his uncle and his wife. They came, and I was very, very devastated. I was very confused. I don't know what to do, where to go, because the situation was very overwhelming for me. So the police said, one person should leave the house. So I explained what he did to me. One person supposed to leave the house, either him or me, or else they are going to call the social services. They will take the children away. So I was really scared of losing my children. So I said, no, I wouldn't like to leave my children. So I don't know if who is going to go, but he was not ready to leave. And he has, as a white German, I felt that he has better chance than me as an African. So I ended up that day on a women's refuge. I went on a women's refuge. They call the refuge if they have space for me. So I went to the refuge that day without my children. It was a very, very difficult situation for me. 2012 was that time. I was crying. I couldn't eat because when I went to the refuge, there are women there with their own children, and I was the only woman that was there without her children. So the women in the women's refuge that are working there, they said, why did this police do this to you? Normally, when there is a violence, it's supposed to bring you and the children to refuge, not the other way around. I said, but that's how it happened, and now I'm here. So they said, okay, don't worry. We are going to get you a solicitor, a lawyer. So at that time, they helped me out. I saw one woman in the refuge, which we were attending the same church. So she was really surprised to see me in the refuge because she was thinking the family is a well-to-do family and such thing like that could never, it's not supposed to happen. So I explained and she believed me and she supported me. It's a German woman, but she really supported me at that time. So they find a solicitor for me and we went to court and they said, no, the children should stay with him. He is not going to leave the children because the children are living in a comfortable place. They are used to their nursery. So eventually, I finally won the custody of the children. The court said the children should come to me wherever I'm living. It doesn't matter where I'm living. They should come. My lawyer, my solicitor that represented me, my lawyer, writes to the court that the children should come to me. It doesn't matter where I'm living. So the children came to me in the women's shelter. We lived there for a few months until I get an apartment. So I found an apartment for me and the children. We start our life. And then I went to nursing school, which is around our area. And the nursery of the children is also around our area. But even when I went to my own, I managed to get my own place and me and the children start life, the intimidation continues with this family. Sometimes if I meet people on the streets, they will try to make me feel guilty. They say, oh, you want to put this rich family into problem. What is your problem? Why are you doing this? I say, what did I do? I say, I suppose I'm the one that's supposed to get help and support. And now you people are blaming me as if I did something wrong. So the mother, sometimes his mother and his father, they'll just pop at my door, knocking. And then I'll open the door and they said, oh, why is our son calling? You're not picking the call. So it was really too much for me in the area. So I was not feeling too safe. So after I finished my nursing school, I moved from that environment. I find a job in another state in Germany. So I moved to another state with the hope that maybe things will get better and we'll get more better opportunities. So immediately when I moved, I told him that we have moved and I called him and he picked the children for weekends because he's allowed to get the children every second weekends. So after I took the children from the house, he went to court where I was living. So the court invited me there. So I told the court that I've moved on with my life and that I'm not coming back where I was living. And the court said, okay, that is your decision. And he said, so the court didn't go further. So he refused. So he still continued. He followed me to the state where I went to and went to court there as well and take me to court, even though because when the court decided in 2012 that the children should stay to me, he didn't accept that the children should stay to me. So he went to High Court again in Frankfurt to appeal the decision of the local court. And Frankfurt said the same thing, that the children should stay to me. The mother writes a letter to the judge because sometimes I was thinking it's only Africa we have all those things, people writing to judge, trying to undermine the system. But I see it here with my own eyes firsthand, where the mother writes to the judge and the judge gave the paper to my solicitor at that time. But because of everything was so much for me, so I wasn't able to really pay attention in every bit of what's going on. I just want to throw light on that area. When people think it's only African, all those things happens. So I moved to this new state, and we settled down. Everything was good. The children get their school, and I was working there, and it took me to court again. So it was during that time I moved. 2016? Yes, I moved after leaving after 5 years. Yes, I met my current husband. 5 years living with the children. It was not easy as a single mom at that time. 5 years I was struggling with the children because he was not paying child support. He was not giving the children any gift for Christmas. He was not giving us any help because he said if the children don't stay with him, they are not going to receive anything from him. Even when I take the case to court and nothing come out of it. So I said, okay, let me leave him. If that is his decision and nobody's doing anything about it, then we will manage our life. So we move on. I got good relationship with the school. The children are doing brilliant in school, and I'm also working. And I met my current husband. He helped us a lot because during that time I just moved to a new place, because in Germany it's not like here in the UK. In Germany, when you move to a house, you have to bring your own kitchen. You bring your own kitchen, you fix your own wallpaper, your own floor, and when you're going, you have to remove them back. But in UK here, most of the houses are already having stuff inside. Some they're already finished. So I was struggling to do one or two things in the house with the two children. So this my current husband is gifted. So we assist.
I'll come back to your current husband, but
Okay.
when you got to Germany, you guys got married and you got to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Staying with the family or meeting the family, was there any red flags? I mean, kind of like maybe you are not welcome here. Any attitude? Did you see anything, any sign? Because what is happening, what you just said, it looks a bit strange, as if they don't like you, or didn't you see any sign, anything of that sort? Maybe they are not happy with the marriage or something.
In the beginning, because Africans, we are so religious, sometimes we forget
Mm,
about physical, what is going on our environment. We are so
mm,
religious, focusing on our religious beliefs, that sometimes we fail to pay attention to certain things that was going on. But because of me, I've told me that his parents are Christian, and we are going to church, and I was praying that time. So I wasn't paying that much attention towards any red flag, because like they tell me, oh, you're welcome. And even when they said they are Christians, every day we used to pray the same. There is certain prayer, just like in Africa, when you say the grace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, they only have one certain prayer in German. That's the prayer they always prayed all the time. So I said, but as a Christian, you can pray different prayers. You are not subjected to only one prayers. So
But
yeah.
when he said you guys should go and marry in Denmark, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure the parents were aware. Did they say anything to you,
I don't think he really
or it
no.
didn't involve the family?
Yeah, he didn't involve them. Maybe he knew that if he involved them, maybe they would not have agreed with him, maybe.
Mm,
But the parents seem to look like as if they like Africans. They said, oh, we've been going to Sierra Leone from the 70s. We used to have a lot of Africans that are lodging in our place. So they have that type of, as if they have that good mentality and good relationship with Africans. That's how everything was portrayed.
mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So I mean, you guys dated for a while before you guys got married, right?
yeah.
So what about your ex-husband? Didn't you notice anything from the beginning?
From the beginning, yeah, when we met in Freetown, I was, I didn't really. notice like that, you know. I didn't really notice, to be honest. Yeah, I
So
didn't. Because,
what
you know,
did you?
sometimes when white people go to Africa, you know, they will put on their best behaviors. You know,
Hmm.
oh yeah, my best friend is Africans, or yeah, I used to have African as colleague. You know, sometimes we are carried away with all those sentiments and forget to look, you
But
know.
at least you could have noticed something from, even not in Africa, but when you moved, you went to visit him. I mean,
Mm-hmm,
you stayed with him.
mm-hmm.
You have studied him
Yeah,
and
yeah.
noticed one or two.
What I noticed in the beginning when I was calling, because at that time I don't have any access to money, I don't have a bank card. So even if I want to call my parents, I have to let him know, and he will take me to his parents' house, and then we use their phone. So I was told that I can use the land phone of their parents.
Hmm.
But what about me buying card and having my privacy in talking to my parents? And he said, but if you can talk for free at my parents' house, why not? But because of I don't have choice, so I had to accept the offer. But when I'm calling and talking to my parents and the bills goes up, they used to shout on me, look at what you have done, you wasting bills to be talking to your parents. I said, but you are the one that told me to use it. So these are also some of the red flags, to be honest. I started seeing. So they will tell me to do something, and then when I do it, they will start blaming me. That is my fault that this is happening. I used to feel guilty of that as well.
Hmm. What made you accepted his proposal?
Um, you know, we had intellectual conversation because he was talking about Germany, and I was also trying to market Sierra Leone or Freetown to him. So he find out that I was very eloquent. I'm not the type of African that shy away from issues, you know. So I told him, I said Sierra Leone will have been better than Germany if it's not because of war and all those other things. So it was really fascinating for me to say such, that Sierra Leone would have been better. So he find out that he had more conversation with me. And yeah, but at one time I also felt that, why should I be with him? Because at one time he lied to me.
That
No, he went somewhere or so. Then I saw the pictures and he said he didn't go. And then I saw the pictures. He mistakenly showed me the picture and he was there where he told me that he was not there. So that was also a red flag for me. So I said, no, 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 no. I said, I can't continue with this. I said, because as you're seeing me, I don't like lies. I don't do lie. You know, if I'm said yes, it's my yes, and my no is my no. So we started crying, and which I find also that was emotional abuse. So I was like, why is he crying? What's wrong? Why is all this? It was totally strange for me. So I didn't know that that was like emotional abuse that he was doing. It's later on, after going to nursing school, having experience in abroad, then I learned to know that most of the things I was going through was abuse, especially even the financial abuse, that they didn't allow me to have a bank account and have my own money. They didn't allow me to work, you know, because I'm coming from Africa, mentality is totally different. And his mother will always make as if my children are children. You know, he was like competing the motherly role to me. But in the beginning, the sister told me, say, but Alice, these children are not the children of my mom. So I was like, why is she saying that? She's the grandmother. Because in Africa, we leave children with their grandparents. But I didn't know that in Europe, it can really turn to something else. When you have your child, you have to show, especially when you're an African, you have to show that line of demarcation. You have to prove yourself that you are the mom. While in Africa, you don't need to prove yourself. Everybody know that you are the mother.
so now do you realize why he didn't want you to work?
Yes, I realize it. Yeah, I
What
realize
was
it.
the reason?
I realized it when I was kicked out of the house, and they said they will find a lawyer for me, because at that time I don't have any money. I moved out of the house without anything in my hand. I had no money in my hand. I
Hmm.
went out of the house empty. And then I realized, I said, okay, so this is the reason why they didn't want me to work, so that they can easily take my children away from me. Then I wouldn't be able to fight back.
But was it kind of like paying you or something? If you are not working, you
Mm-hmm.
have family back home, they know you are in abroad, Africa, they will say, oh, mama or something, send money. This one will need something. Was he giving you some kind of money or something at the end of the month or a week? Oh, take this since you are not working. Was there anything like that?
No, it was not giving me. The only time is like 2011 when his friend visited us at home, and I was talking. They are like privileged conversation that I said I don't have a bank account. So the friend was shocked. He said, "Really?" He said, "Since you've been here, you don't have a bank account." So the friend said, "Why she doesn't have a bank account?" So that is the time that he opened for me a online banking at
Hmm.
the time, and the online banking, he's the one determine how much money is going to put there for me. Sometimes 100 euros, sometimes 200.
But I know, since you have two kids,
Yeah.
you get some benefits from the government and all that. What about that?
He was collecting all the benefits and he was not giving me anything. Even when we get married, a lot of people, because he's coming, his parents are doctors, so all the people that we are inviting are prominent people, and they bring a lot of gifts, and most of them are money. And all those money that they brought, when we gather all the money, took all the money from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on. You say you met your current husband in
Mm-hmm.
Germany, right?
Yeah, in Germany, yeah.
Okay, so what happened before you moved to the UK?
What happened? We lived. I told you after 5 years, I met my current husband, and when he went to the new state where I moved to, that he followed me there and started taking me to court again. Picking on me, trying to set people up against, using my environment against me, as he was doing where I was living. So we went to court, and the children we are invited to court several times, even at their age at that time, at their tender age. And the children keep saying they don't want to go there anymore, because when they go there, they'll be putting them to fight each other, because both of them are boys. They'll be giving them stick to fight each other, and most times they will come with wound, they will come with scratches. And so they explain things to the court, the reason why they don't want to go there anymore. And so but he keep pushing because of his white privilege, and he think because I'm an African, he has advantage more than me. So he keep going to court, and they keep tolerating him, even when he was not paying anything for the children. So one time they make a psychologist in the beginning, a psychological assessment. They make a second one, and the second psychological assessment said they have to leave the children and accept their wishes. If they force them, they are going to hate their dad forever. And guess what the judge said? The judge said, "Go and do your job." So I was wondering what job again the judge is expecting her to do, when the psychologist has already written her report. And the High Court have decided the children should stay with me. The local court have decided. And now the judge is telling the psychological, I said that she should go and do her job. So that was very scary and terrifying to me. So I was really worried how long we're going to continue with this type of behavior. So when we moved to that area at that time, when we just moved, so the children, because of the environment, they were having outbreak on their skin, which was like an allergic reaction. So I bought a cream from the pharmacy, which is phenylephrine, which I rub on it, and it was getting healed. So at one time, he forced the children. The time the children said they don't want to see him anymore, so he went to the children's school and forced them to go to his house. So when the children go home, they were only having the mark of the allergic reaction. So what he did is they take a zoom picture, and because of his father, his parents are doctors, so we allowed his father's friend to make a medical report that the children have scabies, so that he can use that as an opportunity to take them away from me. So he took the children. They're supposed to stay with him for 2 weeks. And then I called. He couldn't allow me to speak to the children. And he said, "Oh, the children are sick. They are not coming back to you. You have scabies." So I was worried. I said, "Scabies, where is it coming from?" And then I went to find a solicitor at that time. And the solicitor writes to the court that he should bring the children back, So they write him and said he should bring the children back. If he don't bring them back, they will come and collect them. So he brought the children back home and then bring a cream for me and said, oh, you have scabies as well. Go and use this cream for yourself. I said, no. I said, why are you doing this? So he was pushing me and forcing, and the children were shouting at the background. So that's time, that 2016, which was autumn. So the children is scared and even pushed one of the child, whilst forcing to give me the cream that I also have scabies. So so since then the children were scared to go to him, and plus all what they have mentioned in the court, all their reasons. So the children were not seeing him from 2016, after that incident, 2017 and 2018. 2 years the children were not having contact with him, and they said they don't want to. Yeah.
Wow. So what happened? Is it because of that you moved from Germany?
Yeah, the children were not having contact, yeah, but he keep like using my environment against me. And then during 2016, I met my current husband, who assisted us because he see the situation I was going through was really terrible, and the children also were sick and tired. So me and my current husband, we decided to go to Freetown 2018 to do a wedding celebration. So because I said we can't just be together without celebrating something for the family are aware of that. So we went to Freetown 2018 with the children.
Okay. So after
that, the children were not happy to go to Germany again because of all the experience and traumatizing behaviors and attitude of the environment. And me also, I was not too happy. So since my husband also is living in the UK as well. He lived in the UK and Germany.
Okay.
He's a German, yes, yeah. He lived in the UK and Germany as well. So I said, then since you have lived in the UK, I say, so UK also will be an opportunity for us to go to. So the children were happy. And so 2019, we moved to UK.
Is your current husband too from Sierra Leone?
Yes, it's from Sierra Leone. It's Nigerian Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, we have Ghanaians, we have Nigerians. Yeah, we have everybody there. We have even Hausas that have been there for like decades or centuries, So at the end of the day, all of us are just interrelated to each other without we even knowing.
That's Africa. Last year, when you guys moved to the UK with your new husband,
we moved to UK, and my husband was working, and I also looked for a job because I look for since I was working in Germany as a nurse, so I found a healthcare senior. I found a healthcare job around a residential home around my area, which is not far from the school of the children. It's just like around, which was easy. And my current husband was also going to his job, and me, I'm also doing my own job. So we are organizing how to make the children okay. And the children went to primary school here in UK, and they learned English so fast. They started speaking fluent English, and the school were very happy with them because they said the children are well mannered and well trained, which I was also happy about. So 2019 we moved to UK. 2020 police was at our door knocking. So we were early in the morning. So we were worried and said, why is police at our door? So my current husband opened the door, and he said, and the police were like worried. They have a piece of paper in their hand, and he said, oh, we are looking for 2 children. They are suffering. They are suffering. They are in danger. The children are in danger. They don't have where to sleep and what to eat. What's going on here? So I said, what is going on? And he said, who is that? I said, it's me. I say, I'm the mother. And they were like, the police officer were like, like what's on the paper and what they are seeing It's two different thing. So, and he said, are you the mother of the children? I said, yes. He said, where's the children? I said, they are sleeping. He said, do you mind us not talking to? I said, why not? So I wake the children up and they talk to the children, and the children say, we are okay, we are fine, we are going to school. And so the police were more relaxed. And then they said to me, okay, then if there's anything, this is our number. So they leave their numbers. And he said a social service, a social worker will get in contact with you to know more, to interview. I said, okay, no problem. Why not? So 1 or 2 days later, I got a phone call from a social worker, and then she proposed to come and interview me at home. I said, no problem, when she's ready. So she came to our house and had an interview with me. For the first time, I was able to tell my story. Because in Germany, if I try to tell my story, even when I go through the domestic violence, they were downplaying on everything that I'm doing. So for the first time, and even the lady was telling me, oh yeah, I don't think I have time to listen. I said, no, please. As if I don't go deep into my story, you wouldn't understand what gets us to where we are. So I was glad she gave me the opportunity to speak my story, which we had an assessment. She made a very huge assessment with a lot of pages, which is very, very detailed. I explained my experience of what I went through in Germany in that assessment. And he interviewed the children, and the children also explained their own bitter experience. And he saw the children were okay, I am fine. The way they portray me on the paper that the man sent, I was not like that. So, and the end of the assessment, the conclusion of her assessment was that the man should not come to the children, or else it will cause injury or death. So that was the end of the assessment. He said if he's not happy with it, he can go to court. So during that time,
Are you saying that after moving from Germany to the UK, your ex-husband traced you there?
yes, it is me.
How did he know all that? I mean, your movement, and how did he know that?
It might be if I don't.
Immigration?
Yeah, maybe through immigration, or maybe sending person to my house, or sending or through police. There are different means that you can know that by the various.
Wow.
Yeah.
So continue. Then what happened?
So, yeah. So 2020, when after the assessment, we continue to go about a normal business, and my husband goes to work because he's a very conservative man. He doesn't have too much friends. He just go to his work and come home and sleep. I also go to work, and sometimes we go out as family when the children have holidays, do things, activities for the children, which are very necessary. So 2021, I become pregnant for my current husband. 2020 to 2021, yes, I become pregnant and I deliver my baby in February 2021. And during that time, we didn't hear anything from him after the assessment. He goes quiet. So after the assessment, he goes quiet for some time, and I deliver my baby. It was a normal delivery, and we came back home. So when I came back home, it's not long, we get a letter from my ex-husband mother. She writes a letter to our neighbor, which is living upstairs, because at that time we were living in an apartment. So one afternoon, immediately I deliver my baby. So the lady that is upstairs came all of a sudden, came downstairs knocking at our door. So it was very strange. And he said, oh yeah, I received a letter and pictures from Germany. And the lady in the letter, I even have the letter with me. I can snap it and send it for you. And the lady is saying, he said, this woman on this letter is telling me to make contact with your children. At that time, the children were still younger. To make contact with her and the children without my knowledge, without my consent. You should make secret contact. He says, so I'm very scared and terrifying for her to do that to me, because it sounds like child kidnapping or something. He says, so that's the reason why I'm giving you this letter. If you need anything or any information, let me know. So the lady informed the police about that, and the police said she should not receive letter like that anymore. And February 2021, I delivered my baby from the hospital. We came back home. And the same February 22nd, we went for checkup on our 3 weeks old baby at that time. So I went to a hospital close to where I was living and for the checkup. So when I went there, I sit down for like 2 hours or 1 hour waiting for them to attend to me. So when they attend to me, they ask me here in the UK. So when they attend to me, they ask me my name and where I'm coming from, if I have a husband or if I'm a refugee and all those questions. So I answer them the questions respectively. And after 30 minutes, they came to check my baby. So once strangely, when they start checking my baby, everybody was just coming and taking bloods from 3 weeks old baby, which is very unusual and uncommon because my experience working as a nurse in Germany, and I work also in the hospital for some time, working experience in the hospital where my ex-husband is working. I found out that what they were doing was very, very strange because, like, a baby, and all of a sudden everybody's just coming, taking bloods everywhere. So I was asking them, why are you taking all these bloods and what's the result? And nobody's talking to me at that time. So I was really worried, say, why should they be taking bloods from baby and injecting him without telling me what they are doing? So I told them, I said, if you are not communicating with me or telling me what's going on, I'm going to move this baby to where it was born. And then the nurses threatened me at that time. They said, if you dare to take this baby here away, we're going to call the police for you. I was like shocked. I said, why are you calling the police for me? If you're not doing the right thing and I want to take my baby where I think it will be treated better, then why should you threaten me with the police? So I called my current husband and tell him about what's going on. So he quickly came and meet me in the hospital where I was at that time. So, and they said, oh, before my husband came, they said to me, oh, we are going to even transfer your baby to another hospital. I said, then why are you transferring him? And he said, yeah, we don't know yet. This. I said, but you cannot be transferring him when you don't really know what is going on with him. And before my husband is coming, the children's hospital sent their team to come and collect the baby. So, and me and my husband were like back and forth, said, why are you transferring our baby? And he said, oh, mom, dad, come, let's come and have a chat with you. So we went to our room and they were talking and they were asking us what is our concern, and we were explaining what has been going on that we are not happy with. And by the time we finished, 20 or 30 minutes later, we went to the room. Our 3 weeks old baby was already swollen up. His face was swollen up. They put mask on his nose. And we couldn't even recognize our baby anymore. So we're asking them, what did you do with our baby? What did you put into his body? Since you guys have been doing what you're doing, you are not explaining anything to us. What is going on? So the thing was so scary and terrifying, and nobody could talk to us. They just ignore my husband and I. They just pack him, brace him up, and put him in an incubator and said they are taking him to a children's hospital. So at that moment, the baby was lying down. He's already complete. They already take full charge and full control. So my husband and I, we felt powerless and weak. We don't have much to do. And then we said, what about us? We would like to follow to the hospital. And then he said, no, they don't have space for us. We'll meet them later. So they took our baby in the ambulance. And at that time, our car was not working. So we had to take the Uber to follow them to the hospital. By the time I came to the hospital on the 22nd of February in the evening, around 7 o'clock, and around 5 o'clock in the morning, it was transferred. So by the time we get to the hospital where it was transferred to, we waited. They said we should wait for an hour before we could see our baby. So my current husband and I, we waited for an hour, and then they allowed us to see the baby. When we see our baby, our baby was already put into a medical induced coma without our consent. So we asked them, why is he in coma? And why is he extra? Why is he swelling up like this? We even have pictures of what I'm saying, of all this scary scene I'm saying. And they said the reason why they put him in coma because he was fighting treatment. So we are like, my husband and I look each other. We said, how can a 3 weeks old be fighting treatment? And he said, yes, he's really sick. We are waiting. I said, then what is the diagnosis? Why is he in coma? And he said, oh, we are still waiting for the diagnosis. And we said, then if there is no diagnosis, then why is he in coma? And he couldn't give us much information. But we felt also very powerless because he's already in coma anyway. So we just hoping and praying for our baby to wake up back. So during that time that our baby is in coma, they said, oh yeah, look at his tummy. His tummy is a little bit big. Would like to see what is inside. But we didn't bring him with that type of tummy. And then I told them, I said, but why can't you use a scan? I thought here is an advanced country where with scan, you can see a lot of things instead of putting a 3 weeks old baby to undergo an operation. They said, no, they can't see very well. They need to do operation. So they said, oh, mom, dad, we want to do an operation. And that's the only way. I said, but what about the scanning? They said, yeah, we've scanned already, but we can't see much. So they go ahead and do the operation on him and close back and plaster him and we said, what's the outcome of the operation? They said they didn't see anything. So my current husband and I was wondering why the operation, why not trying a gentle treatment? Why should they just operate him and said they don't see anything? But not knowing that is even going to get worse. And a few hours later, they said, oh, the result has come from the other hospital that our baby has sepsis. That was the diagnosis that came later after they've done what they had to do. And so they said, okay, now the baby is swollen up. So we would like to remove this fluid from his body. And the only way we can remove this fluid, we have a machine, a special machine that can do it. And that is a dialysis machine. So I was worried. I was very scared. I said, dialysis machine, because of my own nursing knowledge that I have in nursing. I said, well, dialysis machine, they will use heparin to thin the blood. And they said, oh, we are going to be very careful and nothing will happen. And so it's going to be try our best. Well, I asked them, I said, but why can't we try something else instead of this machine for a 3-weeks-old baby? And they said, no, they don't have any other option unless the machine. And if we don't allow them to use the machine, our baby is going to die. So no parent is going to hear about death and your baby is already in coma and you will not do what they are proposing at that time. So we felt that our hands are tied, our voice is not being heard. So they go ahead and use the machine and use every breathing tube on him. I even have pictures for all what I'm saying as a proof. So they use the machine until he bleeds, until he starts bleeding. And how do we know there was bleeds going on in the brain? When there is bleed going on your brain, you will get it through your physics, what is coming out of you. So, and the first thing that come out of our baby, it was a spot of blood. So it was so scary, even though I used to work as a nurse, but when it's your own child involved, it's another thing entirely. Your emotions and everything become very different. So at one time, I wanted to leave the scene because it was really getting too much for me. But on the other hand, I said to myself, from the beginning, from the previous hospital, things have already started going wrong. So I had to be here to make sure that I know what's really going on. So I stayed.
So, what you are saying, are
Mhm.
you suspecting that it's a deliberate thing?
Yes, I'm suspecting that, yeah.
And why do you think they are doing that?
Yeah, I'm thinking that because it's a Black child and because we are Africans, so they think that we can be treated, and maybe they are thinking because I don't speak, with the British accent, coming from Germany, maybe they think I'm just coming from Africa and they were there trying to take advantage. Of me, there are a lot of things here. I felt discrimination because for them to be doing all that to our baby without informing us, and they used trial machine, experimental machine on him as well. They didn't even tell us that what they were using was experimental. Only when they are finished, they said we should sign a paper. So they started forcing me to sign there in the hospital. I said, no, I will have to go home first and read what you're giving me to sign. It has been really stressful in this hospital. So when I read it and I realized that the treatment they were giving him was experimental. The machine the machine they use, the heavy breathing tube, the dialysis machine they use is for infants, and our baby was just 3 weeks old.
Wow. So what's the current situation now?
So when we discharged home, the baby was not that. I was not too happy the way he was looking, because when he was going to the toilet, his toilet was slimy, and that is a sign of dehydration. So I took him, when we went home, I see the opportunity. I said, oh, finally we are home. Now I can take him to where I was born. So when I take him to where I was born, and they saw, because when he was born, there was no scar on the tummy. So when they saw the scar on the tummy, they said, where did you went with him? I said, I went to the children's. I went to one hospital and they transferred me. So I gave them my medical notes, and then they called the hospital that I've complained about. So I complained to that hospital the treatments, bad treatments that my baby has already undergone. So they said they are going to send me there again. So I said, no, please. I said, I've already reported this hospital. I said, I don't want to go there again, or else I'll be putting the life of my baby in danger. My life of my baby will be in danger. So December, we moved to Kent because my husband is engineer and is very gifted and talented with his hands, doing handwork. So we find a job in a company and we moved here to Kent, and the children going to school, and me also find a job that I was working. That was January. We moved December, and January, February, I was also working as well. So
Okay.
February, my ex-husband showed up again.
He came to UK.
He didn't come to UK. This time around, he go to Hague Convention and said I kidnapped 2 children for kidnapping. So I was at home February. No, my husband was at home with our baby. And then 2 police officers was at our door again and said they are looking for me and the 2 children. They said they should come and seize my passport. I am on the run. So I was at work and my husband called me, and I explained to the police on the phone. I said, this man has already been in, because we used to live in Birmingham when we just came to the UK. We moved from Birmingham to Kent, 2021 December. So, and he said they have to seize my passport. So I explained to them, I said, this issue has already been resolved. The man went to EU referral, and they've already made an assessment, and now he's coming again. And then the police say, oh, that's what we are ordered to do, and they have to take my passport. So even when I came back home that day, I want to go upside, the police want to be following me all over the place. Even when they see the children, they interview the children were fine, everything was going on perfectly. And then they took my passport away. They took the children's passport. They said I should go and find the solicitor. 2022 February, they took my passport away. So we started again the same stress from Germany and Birmingham, and then follow us again to Kent. So I find the solicitor, and they had a fact-finding, they call it fact-finding hearing here, because they see domestic violence, that I face in domestic violence, and the fact-finding was 3 days. And at the end of the day, all my evidences that I tendered to the court, they ignore all my evidences and said they didn't see, according to their own findings, they didn't see domestic violence. And the man and the children write a letter to the court At that time, I even have the letters evidence that they don't want to see him, and they voice out their wishes and feeling on letter. So at the end of the day, the case continue until from 2022 February till 2023 last year May. They finally concluded the case, and the children remain to be on my custody. And remember now they are 15 and 13 years old. So the children remain in my custody May, and we've moved there already since 2021 December. Remember that. So immediately after the court case finished from the High Court, Royal Court in England, all of a sudden social services is interested on my son that they said is not well. So in that same May, we don't know if it was a coincidence, but all that need to be investigated. So on that same May, we finish with the court case in High Court. And that same May, I had an appointment. Before that, in 2022, we started taking our son to a private physiotherapist because of all what he's been through in the hands of NHS, and no follow-up for what the treatment he has been received. So we find out that even though, because children at that tender age, they used to do tummy time here in abroad. So they used to lay them on their tummy to strengthen their back and their neck. So, but for him, since because of the operation that he had, he was having less tummy time. So we thought that, okay, maybe because of the less tummy time, that's why it's going to slow and what he's been through. So we were not worried in that initial stage, since he was eating, he was feeding. He was feeding and drinking and pooing normal. These are the important vital signs that's very important for children at a younger age. So, but as time goes on, we're expecting him to do more, to do more activities. So we decided to take him to a physiotherapist, private one, which my husband and I, we are paying with our own money at that time. So we started, he had a physio assessment, and he gave us some exercise that we'll be doing with him. And so we are doing the exercises, and he was improving. So it was during that, since 2022, we are doing physio. So 2023, May, after the court issue with my ex-husband, so we decided to visit a private pediatrician in London. So the pediatrician advised us to go to the NHS. That's the time we go and realize that our son has cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is like a neurological condition that our son has. So it was very shocking. At the same time, it was not too much because we already knew what he has been through. But as a parent, these are not the type of news we were ready to hear. So he tell us that and said we should be doing physiotherapy for him. So I said we've already started physio since 2022. So he said then we should go to NHS so that they can involve other multidisciplinary like language and speech and all those things. So later on, I called the secretary of the private pediatrician. I said, for now, we don't want to go to the NHS because we've made a complaint against them for the treatment of our baby, why he is in this condition that he is. And the secretary told me that, he says it's okay. It's a report. If we want to treat our baby privately, then as a parent, it's up to us. So it was during that time that the social service, that same May, the social services called my phone and said they are worried about my son. So I said, no. I said, yes, we have our son. I said, but there's no need to worry. I said, because we are engaging with him privately. And he said, okay, then if you're engaging, no problem. We'll send somebody to just come and do a welfare check. So ending of May, beginning of June, There was a social services woman that come at our door, but we were not at home, and she dropped a note on the letterbox. So I saw the note and I saw her name there. So I decided to give her a call. And then he said, oh yeah, my name is, she introduced herself and said, oh, we just want to do a welfare check. And then if there is nothing, then close everything back. So my husband and I, we think that maybe we are going to get help, and maybe this time our voice is going to be heard, since social services, they are the one that's responsible for children. But it was a nightmare. It turned to a nightmare. So when she came, so I make an appointment with her to visit. So she visited us. We allowed her. She came in and we show her around the house where we are living and show her the children. And he said, where is the child? And then when she came with a paper, a document, a paper in her hand, and was asking me, where is the child with the acute kidney disease? So I was like, acute kidney disease? Where is that coming from? And he said, yeah, that's what she was given from a doctor in the hospital close to where we are living. I said, well, how can a doctor diagnose a baby that he has not seen before? And he said, that is what is on the paper. I said, well, then look at the baby. If he has acute kidney disease, it will be swollen up. And he saw him, the baby was playing, even though his development is slow, his neck, and, but he was behaving. There was no severe thing that he was going through at that moment. So I said, this is the one, and we are engaging privately. And he said, okay, then if I'm engaging privately, I should send my engagements to her through in an email. So I said, okay, no problem. We are going to send it for you. So we explained all our experience with the NHS and hoping that maybe she's going to help us. So after explaining to her, finished, and then he said I should send my private engagement. So I sent an email of my engagement. So then it goes quiet. She was quiet for some time. So because of what our son is going through, we are really curious to know more what is going on with our son. And we decided to do it privately. So we went to another pediatrician again to do an assessment, and which we are trying to request a scan of our son. So so immediately when we went to the pediatrician, and then we asked for a scan, and the pediatrician was so defensive, say, oh, why do you want to scan? Go to the NHS, they can do everything for you. So we said, no, as a parent, we would like to do it privately. See, because our son has already been through enough in the hands of the NHS. And he said, no, if you want to treat your child privately, you have to be a rich person. I said, then how much is the scan? He said, I don't know how much it is. I said, then let's know first. This journey, a thousand journey starts with a step. So finally, he now tell us the amount of the scan. So we book an appointment. The current situation now at the moment, last year, 22nd of November, we were at home. After my birthday on the 18th, we were at home enjoying our family life, and police show up at our house. But before they show up on that day, the 22nd, they've been to our house on the they've been to our house September 11. So September 11, they came, they said, social service is telling them that we are not engaging with our baby, and our baby is not okay. So we said, no, our baby is fine. So we took the police officers inside our house and we showed them around, and they see everything is fine. The boys are okay. And I said, I'm engaging. And they said, okay, then if you're engaging, they give me their email address so that I can send them my private engagement. So I send it to them, and they said they will put it in their database so that in case they want to bring another police officer, so they will already know. But unfortunately, on the 22nd of November, again, police officers came again. And this time around, when they came, they called my husband. My husband was at work, so he came 1 hour earlier because of their presence at the door. So my husband came, and they started to say the same thing again, that we are not engaging. And then we said, of course we are engaging. We have all our proofs, all the updated. Our son has a private medical insurance, and our recent engagement, our recent scan is in the hands of the GP. So if the social services want to get access of this information, they can go to our GP. So we explained to them, and one of the police officers said they want to see the baby that they are talking about. So we said, okay, no problem. So bring one of them in their house on the 22nd of November last year. So he came in, he see the children, and we show him our son, and we bring out all our private medical engagements to show them, but they were not interested. And all of a sudden, he called for backup, just like that. He called for backup and then pushed my husband, and then they said my husband is under arrest. And my husband said, under arrest what? And they say for child neglect. He said, but how can we neglect our child when we've made complaint about the NHS about what they did to our child? And then the first hospital we went to supposed to reply us, because they said our complaint will take 56 days time, they will reply us. So the 56 days time supposed to be end of November. So because I don't believe in coincidence, so on the end of November, the 56 days supposed to end. And on the 22nd of November, they are coming to accuse us of neglect. So they said,
so what happened?
So they handcuffed my husband and took him to the police station. And so I was left alone. The children were terrified. I was also worried because I said, well, police officers were here September. We showed them. And then all of a sudden they said to me also, you're also under arrest. So I was really worried because that's my son that has developed neurological condition. I was the only one that has developed a feeding technique for him, how to feed him and give him drink. So I told the police officer, I said, if this boy is taken away, he's going to be dehydrated. I said, because they don't know the technique that I used to feed and give him drink since I've been in this journey now for some time. And they still took me, and they were very, very rugged and rough with me. And I want to take picture and video. I will just manage to take one picture. They grabbed my phone away. They said, I'm not allowed to take picture. And they were shouting. And the children, I said, well, I want to hug my children. They didn't even allow me. They are shouting, give us the baby, give us the baby, that particular baby in question. But my younger baby is 1 year, 4 months old. That's my son has a younger brother. So they grabbed the baby from me, and they also they arrested me as well that day. So we went to the police station, and they checked, and 7 hours, they lock us for 7 hours up. And after 7 hours, they release us on bail condition. That bail condition, we are not allowed to see our children without supervision. All of a sudden, this thing happened. And then we came home, my husband and I, came home, our house was empty, including the 15 years old to our last born, our youngest, which is 1 year, 4 months. It was very devastating for us as a family. I thought I'm going to die. But with the help of the Almighty and with my strong mental resilience that I've been through in Germany, that helped to keep me together. Because at the end of the day, I said...
So you mean that they've taken all your 3 kids now?
4 children, all 4 of my children.
Where? Where?
They take them to, we don't even know where they are at the moment. Since November, they took our children away, and they said we should find a solicitor. And then later on, when I visited the child for the first time, November 29, the child was so deteriorated, because I will show you the picture on my birthday on the 18th and how it was looking like when we saw him again. It was looking very dehydrated, and they put a feeding tube on his nose because they are not able to feed him. So they put him under a feeding plan, and which has reduced his amount of eating, that lead him to reduce weight.
So are you, with your narration, are you suspecting your ex-husband?
Exactly, because he was called to the case all of a sudden. He was called to the case, and then he used the situation of my son to write a statement, which he's not the biological father of. So he has access to all the medical information of our son at the moment. So we feel that our children's life is in danger, and NHS is under investigation, and they took the baby away. And since they took him away, they take him to the hospital, without our consent. So we don't know what treatment they are giving him behind our back. And our private treatment has been interrupted. We even supposed to have an appointment this February, a neurological appointment where they are supposed to do a full checkup on
Okay.
him.
It's so sad that this has happened to you. They've taken your 3 kids. I mean,
Oh,
4. Yeah, they've taken your 4 kids.
yeah.
4 kids. I mean, so I think I would suggest you need to see a solicitor, a
Mm-hmm.
lawyer for
Yes.
this, so that you can make this case, and then the lawyer can follow up this for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't understand some certain things. I mean, some of the things that you said. I think it's the solicitor or a lawyer that can help. Can go deep into this matter, and then these things will be resolved. Because
Yeah.
when you get a lawyer, the lawyers know what they need to ask and all that, so that you can get your kids back. Okay.
Yes,
So
please.
I'll also help you. I'll give you a solicitor,
Please.
and then you can contact him, and then narrate this story, and let's see how it goes. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much,
Okay.
because we really
So stand firm, take heart. You get your kids back. Okay.
yes, because we really need help. We want our voice to be heard, because this we find that this is victimization we are going through, because we reported the hospital and reported the police, and they said okay, they will investigate our complaints, and the more we complain about them, the more they become more aggressive. On the 29th, our 2 older boys came home because they were tired to be outside in care, and the police officer came 11 something and dragged them from their bed to go back to where they take them from. And recently again, we're facing another intimidation again. The police came, the
But
children came.
Alice,
Yes, please.
don't you guys have your community there?
That is the problem, because they see that we don't have a strong community. So that is the
So no,
advantage.
I'm talking about your people. Don't you have some around there?
I don't even, because of I'm new in this area, so I don't even know if there's a community here. So that is the advantage they're taking over us now at the moment. They are really picking on us. And my son is the most recent one on Friday. What was the date on Friday? My older boys came home. They said they don't want to be in care anymore. So we reported the incidents to the carer. So they stay home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, police officer. Sunday, they did not come. On Monday, the police officers come again, and they even break our door. They break our door, handcuff me, said because of the children come home, and even because the children have already rights to the court that they are not happy about the situation, they want to come home. And the court ignored their wishes and feelings, and they came home and cuffed me again. They even swelling. I still have the swelling mark of the handcuff, and I have wound here. And they keep us for 7 hours, and they said it's kidnapping. So I was telling them, how can we kidnap a 15 and a 13-year-old who walk from school to their home by themselves? They are independent. So they are always trying to put something to criminalize us. And the other thing also they will do, they will make a cycle, because such thing, when it used to happen to women used to have psychological, but used to affect them. So if I will have psychological problem now, they will have used it against me, because on the assessment, the social services already prepared the ground and said I have undiagnosed. A social services is normally not a doctor, but he already put it there, undiagnosed psychological problem, just like that. And now going to court, they will now be pushing forward for a psychological assessment. We'll find the doctor that will just endorse what he's saying. But because of I'm still mentally resilient and I'm pushing, I'm trying for my children to come back and to get people to fight this injustice that is going on. So they are still pushing me. Even when I was seeing the children, when I saw the children first, the way they were dehydrated and they were not doing fine, I was documenting the issue, because as a nurse, the first thing that we do very well is documentation. We are good on. So I was documenting him. And then all of a sudden, the social services said, I'm not allowed to go with electronic device, and I'm not allowed to give him food or drink. So I said, no, I'm not going to allow this agreement. that I'm not allowed to feed my child. I'm not allowed to take electronic device with me. I said that can be very dangerous. So they said if I don't do that, then I'm not allowed to see the children. So the last time I see my children was November 9th of November last year. Till today, I didn't set eyes on my younger children, my 1 year 4 month, my 2 years 11, my 1 year 5 month, my 2 years 11 months. I've not set eyes on them, and it's a difficult time for my husband and I to be going through all this. We say we don't deserve all what we are going through. We thought in abroad, they said they are looking for decent family and decent parents. And we've tried our best. Sometimes some people that have immigration problem will say, oh, it's because of their immigration status. Or some parents, some mother that are not able to stand it, they end up with psychological problem, or they end up in the hospital, and then they will have excuse, say, oh yeah, he's not well, he have a psychological problem. But in this case, I've stayed strong. I'm there, and my husband is there, is fit, we are capable. Our children don't have any issue in school, our older boys. And since we came to UK, we never have any problem with school or social services. And we believe that no, even police, we never have, my husband never had any criminal record, he never have any encounter with police. I also never have any criminal encounter with the police. This only started when my ex-husband showed up, and then when we reported the NHS, and now we are facing victimization at the moment. So we don't want to die in silence. We want our voice to be heard. We need people to come on board to help us, meet as much people as we can who can help us to resolve this matter, so that our children will not continue to suffer in care in the hands of people who think that they have power, and because we are Africans, our background, they think they can take advantage of us and get away with it. So we are calling for help at the moment.
Okay, Alice. So
Yes.
sad, but just get a lawyer and let a lawyer fight for you. We will also help you to get a solicitor who can also fight for your case, and you see your children.
Yeah.
So, Alice, I will thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We'll keep in touch, and then we'll see the way forward. So you update us later when you have good news.
I'll be updating you people. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for coming on my show.
Yeah,
do you have any shout outs to give?
Well, I'm giving shout outs to all your viewers, your listeners. I thank you very much for this opportunity that I have, because this is an opportunity that I've been looking for, and that you grant me this opportunity. I'm asking the viewers to continue to support you for this calling. And I believe as long as you're operating on your calling, the Almighty will continue to lift you up, give you the inspiration, the wisdom, the knowledge to help the voice, to be a voice of the voiceless out there. I thank all the people that take the time to listen to me. Whoever, we need help, we need support. We know we can't do it alone, because this is powerful people that are on our neck at the moment. So we alone cannot solve this issue. So I thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate this time. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, listeners. I hope they will continue to support this channel.
Thank you so much, Alice, straight from the UK. What a story, for sharing this sad story. But we also try our best to help her in a way we can. We thank her for coming on our show to share this story. More lessons learned in this story. Thank you guys for watching SBTV International. If you want to come on my show, my numbers are on the screen, so you can just WhatsApp me and link up. If you want to share your story, or you know anyone that want to share his or a story, you can link up. Make sure you subscribe to our new channel, our English channel, SBTV International, and we have SBTV Africa, SBTV Africa Foundation. All these three are our channels, so follow us. Thank you, guys. My name is DJ Nyame. I'll thank my production team, DJ Click, Sharon, and Tina. Peace out. To